All right, what's up, ladies and gents? How we doing today? Welcome to the second live stream of the day. Thank you all for tuning in, guys. As you're coming in, do me a favor and smash up those likes. We're just gonna wait a second while this price gets absolutely obliterated. Just for some of the viewers to come join in here today. This was a super short notice live stream. And we are crashing so hard right now. Look at that. That is the crash right there on the hourly. We have dropped from 64,000 right the way down to 60K. And there we go. We are seeing that crash take place right now. Let's take a look at this. Wow, look at that on the 5-minute. Ladies and gents, as you're tuning in here, do me a favor and smash those likes up. This is the second live stream we've done today. Did I short? Fuck no. Fuck no. If I went short, I would have lost money. I did not go short. That wouldn't have been smart for me. No. But look at that. We are down at 60,000. Down. Look at that. This fucking way that our language changes inside of like 2 minutes. We are down at $60,000. Pulling back. When I announced the live stream like 15 minutes ago, we were at like 63,000. And do I still think it's going to pull back? So we are pulling back right now. So yeah, of course. Coinbase is down. Really? Coinbase is down? Are we back to that shit again? Really? Let's take a look at what's going on with Coinbase right here on Twitter. On X, as some people are starting to call it. Guys, thank you all for tuning in. Just going to wait just a couple of seconds for... anybody who may have missed the announcement to just come join in. Yeah, we're up to 200 viewers. Guys, we hit 300 likes on the previous live stream. Let's definitely hit that again. I think now is an even better time for a live stream. Like, everybody's awake. So, apart from Australia, sorry, guys. So, if you are excited for this one, do me a favor and smash those likes up. It goes a very long way. Everybody's got, like, massive... This guy's not even in crypto. Everybody's got massive P&L pictures right now that they're showing off. And, of course, you guys know my opinion on this, right? When everybody is kind of aligning with the exact same opinions. I'm not the kind of guy that, like, jumps on that bandwagon with everybody else. I'm actually, like, riding solo on the bandwagon way down at, like, $21,000 when absolutely nobody wants to talk to me about being on the bandwagon. And when everybody starts jumping off is when I start telling you guys I'm selling my Bitcoin. And that was granted that was at $59,000 a few short hours ago, but Coinbase is down. There's no selling. Yeah, I guess so. Coinbase scared me. Ladies and gents, drop your thoughts, your questions, comments in the live chat below. We're going to be going through them as we carry on. And like I said, the previous live stream, we managed to get this thing up to 300 likes. Let's smash that for this one here. I am here for as long as you guys want me here. So as long as you don't want to get rid of me, I'm chilling. I got my Coke here. So you know, been staying hydrated, and now I'm ready for that sweet aspartame. Cheers, ladies and gents. Coinbase definitely seems to be having some issues, according to you guys. Let's go ahead and I don't know why I can't load up Twitter right now, but let's see if it shows up with Google. Honestly, it could be that Twitter... I doubt that Twitter is actually, like, experiencing some significant load here, but... yeah, nothing really seeming to come up for Coinbase news in the past hour, so I guess Twitter is really our only hope, and it's just not loading, so... Can't really do anything about that, I guess. We're just going to have to stick to the Bitcoin price, and I'm going to have to take your word for it. When everyone's the same direction, face the other way. I mean, look, there are times where that won't work, and there are times where that will work incredibly well. And it's not easy to time it. It is admittedly not easy to time it. But I do know that generally speaking, if you are aligned with everybody else that you see on the street about the markets, you're probably on the losing side, right? And that is, you know, quite fair to say. I think we'll all get behind that because we already understand that most people lose money. So why the fuck would you want to agree with them all? Coke is in Coca-Cola. Yes, sir. That's right. I say we all order some lunch for Sammy so he can stay streaming for a long time today. Thank you so much, bro. I actually just had my poke, which I mentioned that that I'd be having a little bit earlier on today. So that's finally in. Yeah, so 9% crash right here according to one of our viewers. Let's go ahead and take a look at that from our high down to our low. That was indeed an 8.9% drop. We managed to top out at $64,000 just minutes ago, and we started that big sell-off. And this is exactly what I was warning you guys about for like 2 hours on my previous live stream, was that we do get these big crashes coming in, purely as a result of, people only buying because the price is going up. But as soon as that selling pressure comes in, there isn't actually enough buying pressure to sustain that, to support it. And that's why we start getting these really, really big drops down. So these are absolutely great for leverage traders. I mean, I think this is where opportunities start opening up, right? Like if we start getting, just as an example, we're going to go like deep into the intricacies of this later on in this live stream. But if we start getting something that looks a little bit like this, like these are going to be your easy kind of potential short entries, that I would certainly be looking at in this market. And of course, Bybit with the link down below is giving you a completely free $500 position that you can trade Bitcoin with, and you can go long or short with that position, which is absolutely sick. You literally just have to sign up to Bybit using this link below. If you've already signed up to Bybit, there is a form where you can transfer under me and then get this bonus. And if you've been referred by somebody else, you can make a brand new account with the same KYC and you're chilling, you're good. BingX is a phenomenal no KYC alternative, and this has been an exchange that I've been regularly using as well in this market lately. So definitely check them both out. BingX allows you to trade traditional finance markets. We'll come to them in just a second, but I commented yesterday on your video I would take profit this morning, still holding, but sold a lot around 61K. Good stuff, Mitch. Yeah, I think people that have set plans to take profits but haven't been able to commit to them are doing themselves a massive disservice, not because of what's happening right now, but because you're then setting a precedent that you can set a trading plan and then you can continuously break it. And if you're good enough to where you know when to set rules and when to break them, then cool. But most people aren't. Most people would actually benefit more from sticking to their rules. And if you don't reinforce good habits like that, you're going to be in trouble. So I really applaud that, dude. Like I've shown you guys earlier today, I sold a little bit of Bitcoin at $59,000. This was literally like 9 hours ago, almost exactly. So very, very recent that I sold that crypto. But that was, of course, just like down here. So it's actually slightly lower than our current price. Obviously, I wasn't able to kind of get in up here. Somebody asked me at the very beginning of this live stream, because you guys know I've been bearish for a while, expecting something really dangerous to happen. And I don't know if this is going to be it, but we're going to discuss that in this live stream. Somebody asked me, have I gone short? And my answer was absolutely not. If I went short, I would have lost money, because, and that's the problem I described with you guys on the previous live stream, is I feel quite certain that a big drop is going to be coming and it's going to be quite destructive, but it's incredibly hard to time that. It's incredibly hard to actually get an entry for that, because I need an invalidation, right? And that's why this was actually the first sell I've made on Bitcoin in quite some time. It's because I couldn't find an exit point on the Bitcoin chart. Like Bitcoin wasn't giving me a good exit point on the chart. And because of that, I kind of just had to work with what I had and just decide, like, fuck this. This thing is way too high, way too quick. I don't want to stay in here, obviously I'm still vast majority all in on Bitcoin, right? Like that obviously hasn't changed. But I did decide that I don't want to, be in this market without at least taking some small profits off the table. And to me, that's a really important way to kind of deal with this market. Ladies and gents, thank you all for tuning in. We're up to about 500 viewers. Do me a favor and smash those likes up. This is the second live stream of the day. I did another live stream about 8 hours ago, and we managed to smash 300 likes there. So I want to pass that right now for this live stream. And I want to go really deep on the short-term analysis with you guys. I covered a lot of longer-term analysis with you in the last live stream, and I will touch on a bit of that. But if you missed it, just go back and watch that one after this live stream is over, because I'm not going to repeat too much of what I covered in that live stream. That analysis is still completely up to date. One thing I do want to discuss with you guys, and I'm actually going to do it when we hit 300 likes. It's absolutely huge, and it's the key reason that I'm not as bullish as everybody else. We're going to get to that at 300 likes. It's a really, really big, important chart. In fact, I made an entire separate video about it, and I was about to publish that video, and then I decided, you know what, I need to live stream instead. So that's why I'm here with you right now. And by the way, I think this has actually a lot to do with the US Open. I mean, lately the US Open has been bringing some really significant price action to the market. It happened probably like 2 hours ago now. And you know, I mean, the whole day has been bullish, right? Like lately in Dubai time zone, I'm in Dubai, somebody asked, in the Gulf Standard time zone, I think that's what it's called. We haven't actually been getting a lot of volatility. It's been more in the day of America, which is interesting because America is usually not actually relevant for these markets. And that's just for a lot of different reasons. But, you know, lately that's not been the case. And I think that's why we've seen some massively increased volatility as the Americans have been waking up right here, which is, you know, interesting. There, you know, we can talk about that a little bit as well later on in this live stream. But yeah, I think for now, you know, we are starting to see a bit of a, you know, initial pullback here. I mean, this daily candle, we've got about 6 hours left, but any daily candle closing like this is a strong sign that, you know, we tried to push higher and we really couldn't, which means that we need to actually kind of pull back a little bit. So that's something I'm going to be keeping in mind. We've just about hit 100 likes. Like I said, when we get to 300 likes, I'm going to be showing you guys a crazy chart, which is probably going to change all of your perspectives. It's so crazy that I'm probably going to make an entire separate video about it anyway, even though I'm going to cover it with you guys now, because I think it's so significant. So thank you all for showing this live stream some love as we're going on here. Of course, we're going to be taking a look at some of the altcoins as well. If you guys have suggestions, comments, altcoins that you want me to look at, then drop them in the comment section for me as well. I would really appreciate that. Appreciate your skepticism and honesty. You're very welcome, Nick. That's exactly what we're bringing to the table, because if I'm seeing everybody else piling on in the same direction, if I'm seeing a fear and greed index, which has not even updated, sitting pretty at about 82 with 79 yesterday and 78 last week, just gravitating around extreme greed, I am not going to be piling on that bandwagon. That is not where you're going to find me, ladies and gents. I'm going to be quite comfortable knowing that the idiots, the masses, disagree with me because those are the people I want to make money off, right? And Capo just shorted. Interesting. Capo just shorted. I really wish my Twitter was working right now. I want to pull up his Telegram. Let me I'm going to pull up Telegram right here. Capo has been very interesting lately in this market. Yeah, I don't see any posts about him shorting, and I don't even think I'm in the right. No, I'm not even in the right Telegram channel for him. If anyone has Capo's Telegram channel, send me the link on Telegram, please. I can't access Twitter for some reason, so I don't even know what this means. Literally never happened before. Is Twitter working for any of you guys? This is so strange. So strange. But yeah, so I think Capo sucks. Let's get back on track. You know, I think that this could turn into potentially a candle that gives us a warning that we are running out of momentum just a little bit. One of the things I did with you guys in the previous live stream is I actually drew this line to show you guys our first kind of, not our first leg, but just a leg in this uptrend, and we can usually use that to extrapolate a new high. And look at that, we've actually pretty much nearly hit that high right there. We went slightly over it, but if this is the peak, then that would actually make a lot of sense. And I think it also enables us to start looking at some Fibonacci retracements, because this can be something that really starts to open up some trading opportunities for us, you know, to see if we bounce off some important levels. So that 382 level sort of being respected there, our 618 level sitting at about 56, so that's definitely interesting. I'm wondering, can I draw this fib from anywhere else? Not really, honestly. I think it's got to be, I think the best place for me to draw this fib is from like down here. We've got a 0.5 level lining up here. Okay, we've got the 618 level at 48, so I think that's definitely, and it's bang on 48, so I think that's definitely significant. If we're looking at a kind of more macro pullback, 48 could work because it's actually putting us down in the 40k range, but I think a lot of people, including me, would actually be expecting 44, if not lower. So this is a nice way to kind of like nearly give it to you, but not quite, and then full send higher. Just an idea. I'm just kind of putting ideas on your radar. You're going to see what kind of vibes with you, and you might start running with it or not. It's completely up to you, obviously. But, I think that's pretty useful to kind of visualize where this thing might go. Of course, this correction is still, in its infancy right now, right? I mean, if we take a look at this on the minute time frame, we've already started to recover right here. We're not going to stay on the minute time frame for long. I know this is very degenerate, but we've already started to bounce up a little bit, this could be, obviously your continuation, but I think more than likely, we're actually going to be looking at a little bit of messing around over here. We're already kind of struggling in this general price range, and I can actually draw a box for you to represent this, which, clearly shows us that I think like if we're able to get above this particular level, which sits at 61.3, then we've got a pretty easy ride back up to about $64,000. But anything before that, anything below that, I actually think that we're looking at, potentially grinding even lower. And we're gonna, I think that if we lose this wick at about 58, is that 58? Am I reading this right? Yeah, it is 58. If we lose this wick at 58.3, that's going to be a really clear sign that we're coming in for more downside. So I think these are the two kind of invalidations. We're going to see what happens because it's actually kind of getting near that right now. If you guys are enjoying this live stream right now, covering this extremely hot price action, then do me a favor and smash those likes up as you are coming in here. We're up to about 700 viewers. We hit 300 likes on the previous live stream, and that was with like half the viewers. So I think we can do way better this time. Thank you all for the phenomenal support. I want to go through a couple questions and come back to the TA. So do drop them as you're going along. Let's see what else we got here. Could just be a move to liquidate longs, maximum damage from market if it continues to moon. That definitely makes sense, Alan, right? Because a lot of the shorts have been liquidated. I saw a tweet earlier today that said like $90 million of shorts were liquidated, but I actually think it was probably more than that. 90 million sounds really low, like really low. Considering that you can make a $1 million trade just by using 100K and 10x leverage. In fact, you can make a $1 million trade using $10,000 and 100x leverage, right? So like fucking anybody can make $1 million trade. I highly doubt that 90 mil was liquidated today. I'm sure it's like way more than that. And so naturally you do get like quite extreme kind of whiplash in both directions. And that's where you'll really start hoping that you had free money to trade with as opposed to your own, because then you wouldn't be risking your own capital. So shout out to these guys. Link down below. Bybit being the strongest exchange in the game. Also allowing something which is really big, allowing what's called unified trading accounts, which is where you can actually trade any crypto you like without holding USDT, without holding Bitcoin. So you can trade any derivative position you like, but you don't have to hold like a specific coin as collateral. You can hold anything you like, which is really useful because a lot of the time you got to hold USDT to trade these markets. But if you're holding USDT this entire time, then you're missing out on the Bitcoin move, right? So that actually allows you to enjoy both, which is super, super cool. And of course, BingX is a phenomenal no KYC alternative. Huge chart I want to share with you guys when we hit 300 likes. So let's keep pumping that up and come right back to the chart over here. I think that if we are looking at a bit of a pullback, this general support range at like 52K could make sense on the super, super short time frame. It's problematic because on this daily time frame right here, it's just been, three white soldiers, as they call them, which is definitely, a very, very aggressive setup on the market. But, let's also not lose sight of the fact that, like, there is no fucking resistance left on this chart, like, at all. It's done. It's finished. Like, there is no resistance left on this chart. You could argue that we're at one right now, but let me just draw a line showing you where we topped out today, right? Just so we can kind of, visualize this, right? And we take a look at, I'm starting to move all sorts of random shit around. Take a look at this. This is where we peaked higher than the initial two all-time highs for Bitcoin, back in early 2021. We got all the way up here. Like, there was no more resistance. There was nothing stopping us from getting up to about $68,000. And that's why, like I said at the very beginning of this live stream, when somebody asked me why, if I went short, I said, no, I would have lost money. There was just nowhere to place a stop loss, right? Like, the best place to place a stop loss, in my opinion, is like above the all-time high. But then, you're playing such a big swing. It's like a fucking 13% move. Like, what leverage are you using? Like 2? Are you using 2x leverage? There's not even point. There's no point even trading it at that point. So, You know, I couldn't find the right entry. I couldn't find the right stop loss, and I'm not trigger happy like that, guys. You know, like I closed a little bit of my long position live with you all on my previous live stream, and that was sitting at like 1700% profit when I did that. So you know, like I'm not trigger happy, like fucking foaming at the mouth waiting for you know, a crazy kind of big move to come in, you know, that I can actually trade. I'm pretty cool with it. Like, I'm happy to just kind of chill and evaluate this, looking for the safer opportunities, because, you know, if you've been, and I've been in the game for 7 years now, like if you've been in the game for a long time, you're going to know that like you can miss an opportunity and there's always going to be another one coming up. You know, Capo's been getting a lot of heat lately, and understandably so, because he's been completely wrong about the market for like over an entire year now. And I mean, the market's like tripled, quadrupled from its lows, right? So I can understand why he's getting a lot of flack. But one of the situations that he's 100% correct about is that, you know, if you miss an opportunity, it's really not the end of the world. Like, that's really broke mentality thinking. You know, it's gambling mentality. It's gambling, you know, displacencies to kind of like feel like if you've missed something, then you're absolutely fucked and it's the end of the world. Like this thing is as plentiful as there are you know, fine women in the world, put it that way. Something your father probably told you. So, you know, he was right about that, and I'm right about this, that, you know, I mean, you really don't have to worry if you've missed out on an opportunity. You know, these are not going to stop coming. They're, in fact, going to keep coming for a very, very long time. I don't even think AI is going to change that personally, but that's a whole different discussion. Let's see what else we got here in the comments. Right now, dang, haven't heard that TA term in a long time. 3 white soldiers and 3 black soldiers. Yeah, like apparently we're not allowed to call them 3 African American soldiers. My bad. If they're 3 black soldiers, apparently we're not allowed to say black and white anymore. But obviously we're not doing that woke shit on this channel. Smash up the likes for that, ladies and gents. Look at that wick right here on the 4-hour time frame. Such a beautiful doji candle. I mean, you know, when you're looking for a candle that shows you indecision, this is absolutely phenomenal, right? And we've got, granted, 2 hours. This candle's halfway done, so we're not quite there yet. But you know, I mean, if we manage to close this around here, like this is a huge wick to the upside and a huge wick to the downside. You're going to have to really very closely watch what that next 4-hour candle does, but it could be a very strong indication that there's some downside to come. And that could actually be quite exciting from a trading perspective because of the potential opportunities, you know, for some shorts that it might open up. Also, it's longs, right? I think this is something which is really interesting. I was speaking to a friend of mine today, and he was like, well, you know, and we can actually take a look at this right now on CoinMarketCap. He was like, well, the market cap of this market is so high right now. Bitcoin's at 1.2 trillion. Ethereum's at 400 billion. Let's actually verify those numbers right now, live on stream, though. Bitcoin 1.2 trillion, yeah, and Ethereum 400 billion, right? I mean, these are fucking huge assets now, and if they are going to pull back, he was basically making the argument that they're going to have distribution, right? And it's an interesting argument. I actually disagree, but I want to tell you what he thought anyway, so you guys can make your own decision. Coinbase bug. Yeah, everyone's talking about the Coinbase bug, but unfortunately I can't comment on that right now because I'm not seeing anything on the internet from my side. Like, nobody's even talking about it. So, and some people are actually saying Coinbase is working fine. So I'm not sure what I can say about that. Yeah, nothing. There's nothing. No articles, and I can't open Twitter for. Oh, here's Twitter. Coinbase app is down. We're so back. Yeah, I guess Twitter's talking about it too. Let's see if we can see any tweets about Coinbase right here. Retail downloading Coinbase just in time to buy the exact top on Bitcoin, with a beautiful video, presumably from India, the motherland. My dad's Indian. Some of you guys have been wondering. I'm half Indian, and the other half is Pakistani. So imagine the cricket games for me growing up. And I'm not showing you my screen. My bad. Take a look at this. This is the train I was showing you guys. But let's take a quick look at the market cap website. I think this is actually really interesting. It said Bitcoin's at 56K. Like, what do you mean? Take a look at this. It looks like Bitcoin's pumping just a little bit right now, above that key level. See, I mentioned that level's right here, and we've just kind of started to peak above it. So we'll come back to that in a second right here. If you are finding this live stream useful, then do me a favor and show it some love. Obviously, what I'm trying to bring to you guys during this massive price action, during these kind of events, is a very sober, calm, collected approach in the market, which you can rely on to tell you that things are okay. We're not going fucking crazy. let's take a couple breaths, to kind of cool down. Let's stay strapped into our chairs. We don't want to make heated decisions. We want to make nice, premeditated decisions. We want to think about things for a long time. We want to premeditate is not really a great word for this, but we want to really we want to really plan our things out. We don't want to be reactive to the market, because that means the market is controlling us. That doesn't necessarily mean you can't make money by being reactive, but it means that your chances are so much lower, and you already know that. You've probably already done that many times. So we're not trying to fall into those traps, and I think that's what these live streams are really here for. So we're so close to that 300 like mark. Once we get there, I want to go show you guys a huge chart that some of you saw from my earlier live stream today. But let's talk about this coin market cap thing for a sec here, because he was mentioning that if the market cap is this high and the prices are going to drop, then surely we need some distribution. And the reason he's saying that is because if the prices have gone really high, and then there's a lot of rich, smart people that want to get out of the market, and they're not going to get out of the market by dropping it like a stone, right? They're going to get out of the market by actually, printing a nice kind of sideways channel, selling it in that sideways channel, and then they let it drop, right? And it's very typical. We actually see that happening a lot. We've seen it happen a lot on the upside, right? Like, this is accumulation. This is where those same smart people, you could argue, were buying Bitcoin. This is not what I would, call accumulation. Honestly, this was accumulation, and I told you guys the same thing. Like, this is where smart people are buying Bitcoin, and this was very clear accumulation down here. But sometimes, of course, we have it going to the downside, right? So this was a little bit of distribution over here, and of course we had a small pump up after that, but it did, kind of mark the end of the bull market there. And we see it at many other kind of points before the market really dumps down. Like, here's a beautiful, beautiful, undeniable example of distribution where the price moves up quite nicely. It's about to drop down heavily, but we just kind of stabilize for a little bit and let people exit the market. Now, and my argument about this is, he's saying surely we're going to get this kind of distribution because the market's so big now. What I actually think, which actually disagrees with this idea, is that now that the market has gone up to such astronomical levels, I don't personally think that if we get a rejection, that it's going to be slow. Like, I think that we're not going to have a chance to kind of stabilize at a level and then drop down. I think what we're looking at much, much more likely than that is that the price just goes straight up and then straight back down in a V shape, like a straight, strict, dirty V-shaped correction, basically looking something a little bit like this, or something a little bit like this, or this, or this. This is actually usually how you see markets top out, like on various different time frames. We're only on the daily, so it's not that long of a time frame, but it's definitely not that short. But this is when we're at a market turning point. This is usually how you see the market peak, right? You just kind of hover at you're only at the peak itself for like 5 minutes potentially, just like today at $64,000. And then you start trending down. This is how the peaks often happen. It's not in that distributive pattern. And what that actually does is it just makes any existing pressures on the market, in this case we're talking about fear, uncertainty, doubt, FOMO, it makes any of those pressures become way more intense, and by extension it makes them act on the market in much more aggressive ways. Ladies and gents, we are up to nearly 1,000 views. That is absolutely amazing. Do me a favor and smash those likes up if you are enjoying this. Shout out to Barris in the comments, just got stopped out and liquidated your account. Fuck me, bro. Sorry about that. Moment of silence for our bro Ferris in the comment section. All I can say to you, Barris, sorry, and anybody else that's not having a great time right now is well, we're about to go on a tangent. Let me know if you guys want the tangent about. It's almost a bit of a lecture. I know you guys like it sometimes. Maybe we want to talk about price right now, but I've got a lot I can say about this. Like, it's a really bad position to be losing money right now, and there are definitely some ways you can control that, which I can go into with you. But I need you guys to tell me in the live chat if you actually want me to cover that. We've just hit 300 likes. Thank you all so much for the support. I'll be going through that beautiful chart with you all in just a sec. I think you guys want some TA right now, don't you? Yeah. The trade less is a very good one, of course. This guy did not graduate from high school, just so you know. I feel like that's going to give me more credibility, dude. I don't know why you're saying that like it's a bad thing. I think people actually kind of like see through the bullshit on that right now these days. Yeah, I didn't finish high school. Proud of that. I don't need the brainwashing. Let's take a little bit of a look at the TA, and I wanna talk about Barris as well, because a lot of people are probably going to be in a bit of a difficult position. In fact, something really interesting I read today was somebody said that max pain in this market right now is actually when you did not have faith in this market for the entire bear market, even though you were talking about it all the time, so you're underexposed. And that's not even me, and I fucking felt that. You know, like I've been basically all in on this market since the bottom. I've been heavily long since the bottom. Like I've been making money off this in so many different ways. You know, and I still felt underexposed. I can't imagine how people would have felt who kind of panic sold down at lower levels. I feel like that could be a possible measure for max pain. And you guys all seem to get it. High school's really not the place for enlightenment these days, unfortunately. Yeah, it's the same in the UK. You know, and everyone's talking about Coinbase. Is it really that big of a deal? I don't think so. I mean, Coinbase going down is just standard, really. I mean, it's not a big deal. Guys, we've passed 300 viewers, so. I love the upside down hustle reflection. That's exactly what I'm bringing to you guys now. So I'm going to blow your minds, guys. I'm going to blow your minds with this chart. This is going to completely change the way you see the crypto market from top to bottom. And it's a tool which, honestly, like, you can use it at any time. It's completely free. But I am asking you, if this is the first time you're seeing this, do not abuse this tool. Use it when you need it, and then keep it in the closet, right? Because I feel like the more you use this, if you use it excessively, it's going to lose its power. But if you use it at times like right now, it could actually be what saves you from losing money, or it could be what enables you to make money in really quite spectacular, low risk, easy to digest ways. So I'm really, really excited for it. Before I go into it, ladies and gents, I want to cover with you guys that you are getting a free $500 position on Bitcoin using my link to Bybit in the description down below. It is a free position. You can go long, you can go short. It does not matter. It's Bybit's money. Any profits you generate are yours to keep, which is super, super cool. So definitely check that out with the link down below. If you want a no KYC alternative, then BingX is fantastic. I've been using it heavily in this market recently as well. You're getting over 100K in bonuses there, up to 30K on Bybit. Super, super sick. You can trade coins, trade altcoins for free on spot, so zero fees. Super, super cool. And if you're already on Bybit but not referred to me, you can fill out this form. And if you have been referred to Bybit by somebody else, you can just make a new account with the same KYC. But let's not talk about that anymore. I want to cover this crazy chart on Bitcoin, which is just going to completely change the game for you guys. And it is right here. We were talking about it in the previous live stream. I'm just going to do this all for you guys again because I think this is such a big deal. And this is literally a reflection of Bitcoin upside down. This is literally, we take the Bitcoin chart, we flip it upside down on its head, and we start taking a look at where this thing could actually be going. And this chart really helps us remove bias from the market, because what it enables us to do is look at things from a completely fresh perspective. And I think already you're starting to make some massive you're starting to make some massive conclusions in your head. Now, just while you're looking at this chart, before I continue to talk about it, I want you to tell me in the comment section right now, do you think this is a buy or a sell? Just buy or sell. Very, very simple. Let me know what you think this chart is in the comment section right now. I want to know what you guys think. Spam it in the comments. Don't write it more than once, but I want everybody to tell me your thoughts right now, and we're going to come back to that in just a second. Because to me, looking at this chart, we've got phenomenal support right here, phenomenal support right here. We're down to the exact same support level. We're down in a massive relentless downtrend which hasn't had a single relief at any point throughout this entire market. We've had at best a 20% move up, a 20% move up, and we've crashed down by 300%, ladies and gents. We've crashed down by 300%, and the best reaction rally we've been able to muster is a 20% move up. And at the same time, when we managed to bounce off this level before, we produced a 55% pump. After that, we produced a 77% pump, and it lasted over a year, which proves to us by all measures that this is an incredibly significant, strong, formidable level of of support on this chart. And we are now back down to the same level in an environment where not only have we not produced any significant bounces on the way down, but we've been trending down absolutely, unequivocally, non-stop for an entire 6 months in this market. We're up to 170 days. It's been nearly 6 months that we've been trending down in this market without any relief whatsoever. And now we're down at the strongest area of support on the chart. You tell me, ladies and gents, what have we been saying in the chart? It's a buy. What the fuck, first time ever. Someone's saying sell. The risk is too high. It's a buy. You can buy it. Everyone's saying buy, strong buy. Some saying hold, buy, pump only. I think you guys get it, ladies and gents. Buy. There's a little bit of sell. You guys all get it. Look at that. This is the point, ladies and gents. We flipped the chart upside down. I'm not showing you any crazy indicators. I've literally not even drawn a line on this chart. This is a completely naked bear chart. All I'm doing is I'm putting a mirror on it, and I'm asking you to reevaluate your view on the market. And if your view stays the same, then fucking brilliant, mate. More power to you. You run with that shit, and you've got conviction, and that's all you need as a trader. But if your view starts to change, then maybe you're starting to expose some of the inner workings in your brain to yourself, and you're starting to really get behind the lines and stepping into a better version of yourself, a more objective, analytical version of yourself as a trader, as an analyst in this market. And you better believe that that is the best, most healthiest thing you could actually do for yourself in this market, ladies and gents. I think that is an absolutely huge deal. Smash up the likes if you're finding this useful or insightful so far. I think that this really changes the game for a lot of people. And if we are looking at a bounce, we can start to talk about where that bounce might take us now by looking at indicators like the VPVR, right? And if we take, and I don't want to use this VPVR. I'm going to use the fixed range like I used last time. So bear with me here. Let me just pull this up with the fixed range volume profile from about over here up to present day. And we are on the weekly time frame, but the first thing I want to start with on this analysis is actually just showing you guys the value area low, which in this case sits at about $42,000. We can actually just draw a nice box to illustrate that right here. And then I want to continue to draw, just showing you guys some of the biggest spikes on this chart, just so we can kind of start to paint what some of the key levels look like in this market here. Let's take a look at this. And I don't want to go as low as 16, 19K, but fuck it. We'll throw 19K in. And there's obviously a nice kind of big spike coming in right here. So, I think these are kind of some of the most significant points on this VPVR. VPVR is obviously it just displays to you where money is being exchanged, like where there's a lot of trading volume. And the reason that's important is because this is actually potentially a very, very useful tool to show you where the price has magnetic zones where it tends to kind of gravitate toward them. That's really useful because when you get really big reversals, they tend to stop or start at these price levels, right? And I'm going to show you that right now. Take a look at this right here. We managed to pull off a reversal that was 23%, and it stopped right here. And of course, then we reversed in the other direction, and we managed to move by 70%, right? So we're printing really big reversals off this level. Here's another one here where we dropped by 125%. Here's another one, by the way, for those of you that are just kind of tuning in late, this is an inverted chart. So I'm saying we dropped by 138%. Obviously, that's not possible. This means that in real life, we pumped up by 138%. But let's keep running with this for now. You can see when we lose this area of resistance, we end up pumping up by an entire 44% right up to the next key magnetic zone on the chart, right? So we don't need more explanation on this. We can tell very clearly that these are very important levels. And what we can also tell, if I just bring that VPVR back on screen for you guys, is that there is no significant spikes printed on this chart below, or in this case above, $44,000, right? Anything over here, we're not getting any significant spikes. We do have some, right? And you could definitely say that there's something around over here, which sits at about $48,000. It's obviously all the same price levels that we already know that we've been discussing on this YouTube channel, but you can definitely make strong arguments for all of these levels. And, and what we've got here is that at best, our best areas of support are still quite far away for this market to reach right now. And that's, in this case, our best areas of resistance are quite far away for this market to reach right now, which makes this a phenomenal buy with really, really good risk to reward. Now, if you look at this and you also consider that at the same time, we've got an absolutely ridiculously inflated fear and greed index, to me, this is a very clear recipe that things have to pull back in the real market and start finding some support. Now, the problem is that if we look at the long and short ratio and other key metrics like this, we do actually have heavy retail shorts coming into the market. And I think that's one of the key reasons that we've been trending up lately, is because if the majority of traders are putting their money in the downside, then naturally they're going to be wrong, and those positions are going to get liquidated and stopped out, just like our boy Barris in the chat earlier today. So, I think that we might start to see these things changing. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. We're still majority short on the 1 hour. Let's take a look at this on the 5 minute. We're still majority short. Look at that. These retail traders are not letting up. And until this really changes, I think we could be seeing quite a scary situation in the market, because it shows us that money is still positioned in what I think is the right direction, but perhaps too early. Because one of the things that happens in these kind of situations in the market is that the last bears are going to kind of switch sides. They're going to kick the bucket. They're going to give up. They're going to realize that they were sidelined for too long, not making money for too long. This could happen if we reach the all-time high or exceed the all-time high, and they're going to realize, like, fuck, I've been sleeping on so many opportunities to make money. I should have just been in the game. And then they're going to sign off because of that, and they're going to actually turn into bulls. And it's oftentimes when those last bears start to convert and become bulls, that's when you actually send it and you drop everything, and it just falls like a rock to the absolute downside, right? So I think that's a really, really big deal that we could be seeing taking place in this market. And, again, this chart just really helps us remove biases, because if we go ahead and look at this on an inverted chart again, and this time the real chart, I mean, it suddenly, I don't know, what does it look like to you? Like, to me, because I've been doing this a lot, it doesn't look bullish to me anymore. But to you, it might suddenly look a little bit more, at least a little bit more bullish, right? Like, and if it looks like 5% more bullish than the inverted chart, right? 5% more bullish than this, then you've got a clear case of, biases playing on your mind right now, and you've got to be able to stay aware of that, because the traders that are going to take your money, they are aware of this shit. They know what's going through your head. That's how I was able to make positions like this phenomenal Bitcoin long that I've been in for so long now. Just earlier today, taking some huge profits off the table as well, which I'm super happy about. Traders that are pulling off gains like this are only able to do so because other people are not being financially responsible with their decisions. Take a look at that. We're up at 1,800% on this Bitcoin long. Absolutely phenomenal. 835% position on this TRX long. So obviously we don't win them all. We can't get big home runs every day of the week, but absolutely phenomenal performance there. And like I said, those trades were made on Bybit, linked down below, where you're still, during this live stream, able to get a free $500 Bitcoin position where you can go long or short, whatever you like. Check it out, because that is free money, but that Bybit is giving you, and any profits you generate are yours to keep. It is literally like a friend giving you $500 for free and saying, go do whatever you like, bro. You can keep the money. He's giving you $500 to walk into the casino and just have some fun. Obviously this is not a casino, and if you treat it like that, you're going to lose your money. In fact, if you treat it like that, you need to go to Gamblers Anonymous, not to my YouTube channel. And I obviously want to note that if you're in a country that restricts these activities, you can't use these exchanges. They won't let you on anyway. But BingX, phenomenal alternative as well if you're not a huge fan of Bybit for any reason. Definitely worth checking out. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at the comment section before continuing on with some of this analysis here. I want to see what some of you guys have been saying. Lots of buy side liquidity still to get. Yeah, that definitely could be the case, but I think one of the strong points that I've been arguing with you guys for a really long time is that I personally don't see this big money that you guys are arguing is on the sideline. I don't see it piling into the markets until, we get significantly better price levels, because, then it would have to be like the first time in history where the rich upper classes because basically a lot of retail have already bought crypto, right? Now we're looking for that institutional money. UK is not fine. Somebody just asking for these exchanges. They also believe that they know better for your freedom than you do as a citizen. So you can go take that up with Mr. Sunak. I had to escape to the Middle East for some refuge against those totalitarian policies. Yeah, I think it would have to be like the first time that these institutional players are making you the little guy rich, right? I mean, it just never really happens, and I think it's just wishful thinking to assume that it might be the case. And I can't really have a conversation with you if you think that's actually what we're dealing with here, because, I think we're just worlds apart in terms of our understanding of how the real world actually works. I think most of us will actually understand that in the real world, the ultra wealthy upper classes don't make the little guy rich. They actually just kind of care for themselves, and it's not even surprising. It's not necessarily even bad. I mean, you do with it what you will, but humans are naturally selfish, and I don't know why you would think that doesn't apply to financial markets. So of course, to me, yes, sure, there's a lot of buy side liquidity that still hasn't gotten in, but I don't think it's going to get in when you're happy about the market pumping up. I think it's actually going to be the opposite. There's potentially going to be a massive crash, and we really have such a beautiful setup for that to take place now, where the market can come down to some much, much, much more approachable levels for buys, especially compared to where we are right now. And then we're looking at potentially an entire, in this case, 70% move up. If we come down to 30K, in this case, a double 100% move up, if things do end up kind of going that way. So let me know, guys, if you have any questions in the comment section. Let's just keep the Coinbase talk out of this for just a sec, because I can't actually do anything about that. But we'll just scroll Twitter and take a look at this for just a minute. If you are enjoying this live stream, do me a favor and smash up those likes. We are up to 400 likes. We hit about, I think, 350 in the previous one, so that is amazing. If you're enjoying this live stream so far, if you're finding it useful to kind of ground you a little bit, bring you back to earth, show you that things are not as crazy as they look on the chart, you can sit with your boy. I'm right here with you. There's nothing to worry about. And we're just watching this price action for what it is, getting ready to position ourselves with easy, nice, high probability, low risk setups. If that's the kind of approach that you like, then that's what this YouTube channel is for. And if you are finding this channel useful for that, then do me a favor and smash those likes up. Let's take a look at what we have here in the comments and on Twitter. Let's see what we got. Retrace mid 50s and send it to 80K. That would be absolutely fantastic. If this recent blow off leads to a larger sell off, I think buying alt dips on that low will be very profitable. If Bitcoin instead just keeps running, I think alts will be on the back burner for a while. Alt season potential is there. Yeah, so I think here's Coinbase. Everyone's talking about this. We're aware that some users may see a zero balance. Some of you guys have been commenting about that on this live stream. Our team is investigating this and will provide an update shortly. Your assets are safe, so that's absolutely phenomenal. I wouldn't really worry about it, but naturally, if you have too much money on Coinbase or on any exchange, that's just stupid. Don't do that. You want to have proper storage mechanisms. But what Donald is saying here, and by the way, before we even talk about this tweet, I've got to show you something that he posted earlier today because it was absolutely hilarious. I got a good laugh out of it. Back in 2022, he posted a duck can dream with this absolutely insane chart showing Bitcoin just going up in basically a straight line off that 17K level. And he just quote tweets it saying, "Bro, what the fuck?" which I thought was absolutely hilarious. So, and this is how the chart feels. It actually feels like we literally just did this, and it actually went higher than this line as well. So, whatever. I mean, very, very funny that this is actually what happened. It's all of our wet dreams taking place simultaneously, perhaps a little bit later than we thought it would come, but still happening for sure, which is super cool. But coming back to this tweet here, I think what he's saying is that essentially if we get a larger sell-off, what we're actually going to be looking at is a nice pullback for the entire market before continuing up, which would allow, a bit of a pause for Bitcoin, a bit of a, for Bitcoin spotlight to be moved onto altcoins. And naturally, because altcoins are so much smaller, because they're so much less liquid, because they have so much lower market caps, they're a lot easier to push, right? That's why you see really big moves happening for those markets. But if instead we see Bitcoin continuing to move up, then it's the same thing I was talking to you guys about in the previous live stream, which if you're subscribed, you're going to know about, which is that if we get a situation where Bitcoin, kind of keeps the spotlight, then why would you be interested in altcoins, right? Because ultimately you're just here to make money. And if you can make money by being in a safe asset, then why on earth would you be in a risky asset, right? But on the contrary, if the safe asset is dropping and it's actually pausing and it's not very sexy or interesting anymore, then you can't really make money off it. So you're going to start looking elsewhere, right? These crypto traders, you and I, all of us, we have relatively short attention spans. Maybe not us on this YouTube channel, but the space in general. Very, very short attention spans. Massive levels of desperation, smell of fucking desperation. And because of that, I think we're clearly looking at a situation where, there are going to be a lot of people that want to get into altcoins if Bitcoin starts looking a little bit more boring. But if Bitcoin continues to keep that spotlight and continues to shine really strong, then you won't want to take that additional risk, and you'll actually just want to stay in the easy market. And I think that's a big part of what Donald is saying. Definitely an idea that we've been discussing on this YouTube channel for a little bit. Let's see what else we've got here on Twitter. Broke Coinbase temporarily down, woke Coinbase user numbers and volumes are about to moon this quarter. So Brian Armstrong definitely happy with these things going on right now. The sign of the bull. Yeah, everybody's happy that these exchanges are going down. Those of you that don't really get it, maybe if you're new, it used to be, especially back in like 2017, fucking every website was going down. Remember, you guys remember BitMEX? Tell me in the comment section if you remember BitMEX server overload. Type server overload. If you overload. Am I saying that right? Yeah, I am. If you remember that in the live chat, because I want to know how many of you guys are. If you remember server overload, you are OG. Like, you are as OG as it gets, as far as I'm concerned. You've been in the game for 6, 7 years. That would be very impressive. Of course, Perpetual Prince. Of course, you were there. Shout out to you, my bro. So it's kind of like a running joke in crypto. When all of these websites start going down, that's when you know that like we're actually bullish and things are happening and it's all getting really fun and exciting. So that's always, cool and interesting to see. But we got a lot of people here that remember the server overload issues. Bittrex, yeah, they had their fair share of issues. Everybody, nobody was immune from it. There was so much load in the crypto market. It was just absolutely impossible for all of these companies to keep up with it, and they just kept going down. And Coinbase is still one of the most popular places to buy and sell crypto in the West, and it seems to be caving under a little bit of pressure right now, which is very interesting. So look at that, some more PNL right here on Solana. What is Solana at? Like 111. I mean, it's really not moving. Like, the altcoins have been stuck for a little bit. Look at that, Bitcoin's dropping even harder right now, kind of getting close to that low that we set right at the very, very beginning of this live stream. So this is going to be interesting to watch, to just kind of see, how low it may end up going if we're going to be looking at a more significant retracement here in this market. I think that would definitely depend on if we manage to sweep that particular low. Let's take a little look at some of the altcoins and see what's going on here, but I don't really want to take my eyes off Bitcoin at the same time. Let me see if you guys have got any questions or comments that you want me to go through. Guys, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna write this in the chat. Just write at my name, at Sammy, and then it will autofill. I've just put it in the live chat. If you have any questions, do that first and then write your comment, and then I'm gonna know that you have a specific question you want me to answer. That helps because I'm probably missing a bunch of questions right now. I don't want to miss them. So if you have a specific question you want me to cover, just tag me like that I've done in the live chat, and I will take a look. But look at that little drop on Bitcoin taking place right now at 59.4. Definitely very, very interesting. Let's take a look at something. One sec. Yeah, I've just had an interesting idea. I've just pinged it over to a friend. My main analyst is probably on a plane right now. We have a running joke in my company that like Bitcoin always pumps when one of us is on the plane, and it seems to be holding true pretty well. Sammy, what's your view on the upcoming halving and also money and bond yields, dollar and bond yields? Can't comment on the second part of your question, but the first part of my question is basically that I think we're looking at a halving crash, whether that comes before or after the halving. We're always looking at a halving crash. It's never not happened, and it hasn't happened yet for us. So I think there's one interesting theory that you could raise for the halving crash, which is that, look at this wick, guys. Wow, this is a sharp wick. Look at this on the daily time frame. Let's take a look at this on the 4-hour. Wow, that's turning into a red candle. I actually think it would be better if it turned into a doji, but whatever. What was I talking about? Right, the halvings. I think one idea that you could bring up is that we're not going to get a pre-halving crash because we already got punished so much in 2022. So we basically paid in advance for our punishments, right? Like, I don't know if you guys see these like funny comedy skits where the dad like punishes the kid, so that he's in like profit, like for the next thing the kid fucks up, he's already pre-punished for it. I think that's what Bitcoin did to us in a sense. And you could make an argument, and I think that's definitely why we've had such a strong recovery, right? That's what I said when we were down at 17K. I still believe that that's the case. But, you know, I think that that's a really big part of why Bitcoin has been able to react this high. But I think that could be why some people would argue that the halving right here, you know, is potentially... Dude, stop spamming the chat. You're getting put in the naughty corner, bro. I'm not doing that. You're going in the naughty corner for 5 minutes. No spamming in the chat, please, ladies and gents. I do think that, you know, because of that, we're looking at, you know, potentially, you know, some people saying that the halving punishment has already happened. I don't believe that to be the case. You know, if you really kind of just level down with me for a second, we just kind of calm ourselves down and look at what actually has happened. It has been 462 days of trending up, which let me just get my trusted calculator here because I'm fucking worthless at math. If we divide that by 30, that is 15 months right here, ladies and gents, that we've spent in an uptrend. We have had pullbacks during this uptrend, but all of these pullbacks have been shallow compared to what Bitcoin actually typically prints during an uptrend. Bitcoin typically will actually print like 40% drops during uptrends, right? And that's very, very clear. You can see this happening all the time. I mean, this was a bit of a weird time, but in this case, it dropped by like 60%. But if we look at more kind of normal pullbacks here, right here, that's a 40% right here, 38% right here, 30%. Here's another 35. Here's another 40. You know, I mean, it's all across the board. We see this very, very regularly that with Bitcoin within its uptrend forms really nice big pullbacks. And if it's not 40% in the previous bull market, it was even more than that. We just haven't done that yet, right? Like we've only printed a 20% here, a 20% here, 20% here, and 20% here. You know, so I mean, if we just kind of do that again, then I guess you could say this is the wrong chart. We actually got all the way up here. You could actually say that a 20% pullback puts us down at like $50,000, which is a very... Fuck, I'm not showing you guys the chart. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay, let me do that again. We had the big crash here. That was 60%. This is 2017, 40% here, 40% here. I'm so sorry, guys. This is so embarrassing. 35%, 36% right here. Another, you know, kind of 40%. Very, very typical for Bitcoin to print these kind of big drops. And like I was saying, if it's not a 40% drop, then in this case, it's actually worse than that, like a 60% here. But like I said, this market environment was very different. If we're looking at the current day and we're looking to print a 20% drop, because this is the next thing I showed you guys, is that in this uptrend, we have had pullbacks, but they're each like this. Look, 20%, 20%, 20%, 20%. You know, if we're looking at the same thing happening now off today's high at $64,000, that does put our potential 20% correction down at the $50,000 price range, which is a really interesting price range because it lines up with pre-existing support that we've already known exists on this chart right here. And it could potentially shed some light for us on, you know, if there is going to be a potential bounce over there. Now, like I said, I think we're actually looking at something a little bit more significant than that. I can take my trusted 40% line, move this all the way up to the $64,000 level, which is where Bitcoin peaked today. And that does put our potential 40% bounce down at the $38,000 price level. Which is an important level. I think 38 to 36 is generally speaking, you know, an important level in this market. I can show that to you like this. You know, so that does definitely line up with some interesting, you know, plays we could be seeing in the market. Let's look at it like that, right? Like this lines up with the wick. It lines up with some consolidation, some resistance that we were encountering earlier on in 2023 November, and then a lot of price action back in 21 and 22 a couple of years ago. So I think that that would really help put Bitcoin back in line with some more sensible price action. And just for argument's sake, let's look at a 30% drop and see where that would put us. That puts us at about $43,000, which is also an incredibly strong price level for Bitcoin to start looking to bounce up from. So that is something that I'd be keeping in mind as well in this market. Wow, we are up to 1,500 viewers. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Let me know if you are enjoying this live stream. And if you are, do me a favor and smash those likes up as we continue to go on. Some of you guys really don't like this idea that we could be dropping a little bit lower. But I think that that really does help you understand that maybe we should. Because these things are not comfortable. But then again, neither is rallying up forever without any stops, right? Because you're gonna have to pay for that eventually. And I'm just trying to say, like, look, let's not make that payment more painful than it has to be. Hit up the like. Yeah, thank you very much, Savannah, in the comments. Talking about an 80% drop, I don't see that happening. I think that's quite intense. An 80% drop from here puts us at what? It puts us lower than my face cam. It puts us at 12.7k. I don't think that's happening. Let me take a look at some of your questions before continuing on. All-time high today? I don't think so. I don't think so. In fact, I don't think we're gonna hit an all-time high. I've been discussing this with a couple of friends. Like, on a technical level, yes, there isn't really anything standing between Bitcoin and its all-time high, but to me, it would be so strange if we actually did set an all-time high. And I think what I'd actually be looking at is probably, a double top. And sure, you might deviate above the all-time high to get it. But, in terms of like actually setting a real all-time high, like above 75k, anything below 75k is just a deviation, right? So actually doing that, I think, would be a really big deal, but I don't see that happening right now, ladies and gents. I don't think that that's actually what we're looking at. I think we're probably going to be looking at a situation like at best we get up to that all-time high and get rejected, and then it's a bit of a ride down. Like I'd be surprised if it was more than that. Like I said, I don't even think we're getting up that high. And again, it's because, there's a lot of you guys that are just tuning in now. Just make sure you rewind the live stream if you've missed parts of this, because I'm not going anywhere, and there's some really good analysis we've been covering here. But I want to just very quickly bring us back to this inverse chart and show you guys why. We could set an all-time high, and what I'm saying would still apply just as well. Like, it wouldn't actually change my analysis, because on this long time frame, if we let's say take this on the weekly, which is really the most important time frame for this particular style of analysis, it doesn't really matter if we got a little bit lower, right? Like, we are still, broadly speaking, in an absolutely critical bounce zone for this market. But of course, this is with the caveat that we're understanding that this is actually an inverse chart of Bitcoin. It's a mirror chart of Bitcoin, so it's actually opposite. And if we're seeing heavy support here, then what that actually means is that we're at heavy resistance. And I think one of the things that a lot of people don't understand about these kind of things is that if you do actually print support at price levels like this, but you haven't visited that support for a really long time, well then, you can actually rely on that support being useful. Take a look at this. This was 180 days followed by 800 days. And I think that's really significant, ladies and gents. And it's significant for another reason. There's actually another chart that I showed you guys a little bit earlier in yesterday's video. Those of you that are subscribed are going to know about that. Take a look at this chart right here. We actually already covered it. In fact, I'm going to come to that in just a sec. Thank you all for 500 likes, by the way. I really do appreciate that. That is some absolutely phenomenal support. Thank you all so much for the love on this live stream right here. I wasn't sure if I should do a live stream today, but super, super cool to see so many of you guys tuning in today. I think one of the things that's really useful for us to understand how support levels work is that if you don't touch them for a long time, you will expect them to hold oftentimes, and actually be useful. But if you start rapidly touching them, like if you start doing something a little bit like this, right, where your touches become a lot more frequent, then, that will just kind of turn into consolidation. And that's when the drops inevitably end up coming. And I think that's a really, really big deal. So that's super, super cool. I've got a friend coming over, so I'm going to be wrapping this live up relatively soon. Super excited to meet this friend. He's just landed here in Dubai. So I've got about 20 minutes with you guys on this live stream. If you are excited for these last 20 minutes and you want me to go through your questions, then please drop them in the live chat below and smash up those likes if you haven't done so already. Okay, I got a little bit more than that. Yeah, I got a little bit more than that. Yeah. Very good. Just hitting him back. Gonna probably smoke a shisha and just chill. But yeah, I think when you start to kind of use these support areas more frequently, that's when they're gonna break. And I'll give you a really good example, right? If we go ahead and take a look at this, oh my god, it's so far away. Where is it? I'm sorry, I'm really bad at looking at this chart upside down. Here it is. This is a beautiful example, right? You can see it really, really well. Let's actually, let me drop a line so I don't lose it, and put this on the daily. Let's take a look at this zoomed out. Yeah, so if we're looking at this right here, what we can see is that originally we hit our area of resistance, and then it takes us 50 days to get there again, and then it takes us 60 days, but then it starts shortening. Then it takes us 20 days, and then it takes us 13 days, and then it takes us 8 days, and then, yeah, it lengthens out a little bit more, but broadly speaking, you can see it's getting quicker, the amount of times that we hit this level, and then we just end up straight up consolidating there, and that's what leads to the breakout. So oftentimes, that is how you end up breaking these levels, and that's what I think could end up taking place on this very chart right here. That's what I actually think we could be looking at this particular stage in the market now, because it's a very strong indication if we are actually bouncing off this level now potentially for the first time. It's a very strong indication that this is only our first test in a very long time, and there's very, very good reason to believe that there's going to be a nice big healthy bounce coming off this price level here. So and the beautiful thing about this analysis, like I said earlier, is we haven't looked at, in this entire video, we haven't looked at a single indicator, we haven't looked at any drawings, any tools, only boxes and lines, horizontal lines at that, like absolutely nothing, like just all pure naked TA. This is how you know if you're looking at an analyst, by the way, this is how you know if the analyst is full of shit or like very fucking autistic, which can be a good thing. Honestly, it's probably a very good thing as a trader, but like very autistic, full of shit, or actually a good trader. And the autistic and good trader, these are the guys you want to listen to, but the full of shit, the vast majority of people fall into that category. That's the one you want to avoid, and you're going to know they're full of shit if they're putting all sorts of crazy indicators on the chart that don't even make sense. But that's obviously not what you're getting here. This is just very bare bones, basic technical analysis, and that's why it just makes so much sense intuitively. So I think that's a really, really big deal here, ladies and gents. Like I said, that's exactly the approach we're bringing on this YouTube channel. Very calm and collected right here for those of you that are subscribed, to always know you've got a safe space on this YouTube channel, regardless of what's going on in the market, that things are not as crazy as they seem. And wherever you are in the world, whatever's going on in the market, you know you've got your boy on the other side that's going to be here telling you to chill. Take a chill pill, sit back, let's start big chilling for a second, let's smoke a hookah and kick back, you know what I mean? Like, that's my vibe. And let's really look at this for what it actually is worth. Now, there's another chart I want to show you, and it's this one right here, which illustrates that from Bitcoin's previous all-time high to break its all-time high took 1,200 days back in 2014 to 2017. Back here in 2018 to 2021, it took 1,100 days. And this time, we're only 800 days since the previous all-time high that we're knocking on its doorstep again. And I think that's a really, really big deal. This shows us in terms of time frames that we know we're supposed to be seeing a more mature market, but we're not actually really getting that in terms of this particular style of analysis, because what we're seeing is that previously it took us an entire 11 to 1,200 days to get from our previous all-time high to breaking it. At this time, we're like 300-400 days ahead of schedule, ladies and gents, which I think is absolutely crazy. I think that really sends a very, very strong message about the aggression of this rally. And if you believe that this is a market which is actually maturing, then naturally you're going to have to expect these things to, at the very minimum, not get faster. And if that's the case, then this is a really strong indication that we could be looking at a significant pullback in this market. So again, for me, it's seeing things like this. It's seeing things like the Fear and Greed Index. It's seeing things like Twitter, where absolutely everybody's parading through the streets super happy, thinking they're fucking geniuses. It's seeing all of that in conjunction with just knowing that we haven't had a significant pullback for so long. That tells me we are in a potentially very dangerous situation in the market. Like I said, none of this stuff has to be scary, especially if you know you're getting all of this free cash that is available to you with the links in the description, where you can trade these markets free of charge. You're getting a free $500 position on Bybit using this link down below. And it's just any profits that you generate are yours to keep, which is super, super cool and well worth checking out. Like I said, BingX, a phenomenal alternative. Also available to you guys with no KYC and over $100,000 in bonuses. So that is definitely super, super cool. I want to take a look at a couple of your comments here in this live chat before continuing on. If you are enjoying this so far, thank you all so much for engaging with this live stream. It does help a lot to bring this forward to people who want to watch it. And by the way, I just found another way to bring that. Look, this is Sammy again. Let's take a look at some of the comments in our live chat today. I don't want my face to be massively blown up while I'm showing you my face. That's going to get a little bit confusing, but let's take a read through these comments and see what we've got. Where are the oh fuck, I can't scroll up high enough. Okay, I guess I'm just gonna have to use the comment section on my live stream. Let's see what else we've got here in the comments. Oh, what am I doing? One sec. There we go. Let's see what else we got here in the comments. Sam, you were talking earlier about a 20% versus 40% drop. Now it's 90% sure to crash near the halving. Okay, that's according to you. But what would you do if it drops to 20%? Wait for lower crashes or just buy? Really good question, John. So John's asking if we get that 20%, in this case, pump, which would take us up to about $50,000, would I buy here or would I wait for an even deeper correction, which takes us down to like the 40Ks? I would probably do both, man. I mean, I don't think it's going to be a 20% drop, and I feel pretty confident in saying that. I think we're going to be seeing something much more explosive than 20%, especially considering how explosive this rally has been, because when you have explosive rallies, you have explosive reaction rallies, and that's just completely standard. I mean, if I told you that we're trending down and we're trending down aggressively, then I would also say we're probably going to have an aggressive recovery, right? So it's the same thing whether you're going up or down, and because of that, I would be expecting lower price levels. So I'd be buying a little bit more down at the 20% correction, but I'd be buying even more down at the 40% correction if we get it. And I'd probably just DCA. I'd probably just, like every $1,000 buy a little bit, every $5,000 buy a little bit, like what's the harm in that, right? And I'd maybe increase those buys the lower we get, right? So at 55K, I buy, let's say $10, but at 50K, I buy $15. And at 45K, I buy $25. And at 40K, I buy $50 worth of Bitcoin, right? So I'm actually buying more the lower the price goes. And that really helps me, DCA into Bitcoin in what I think would be potentially a nice, healthy, sustainable strategy. Let's see what else we've got here in the comments in terms of questions. Thank you for that really good question, bro. If you guys have a question and I have not answered it yet, use the @ symbol like for your email and start typing my name, Sammy. And that way you can send me a comment. It's going to highlight it in bright orange and it will guarantee that I read your comments. Let me see if there's anything else I'm missing. Do we get anything for signing up to BingX? Any vouchers? Yeah, dude, you're going to get over $100,000 in bonuses, which is absolutely sick. Well worth checking out. This has been one of the main exchanges I've been using. CoinW is also linked down here. And this one, just for opening an account using my link, just for opening an account, you're going to get $50 for free to trade with. So that is super cool. Just take your money, make a trade. If it's a profit, it's yours. And if not, you just traded with their free money. So no loss to you. They're giving you so many cool bonuses. It's just well worth, you want to test the strategy, whatever, it's just cool to know that you've got all of that free money available. What are my thoughts on Pepe? Yeah, I saw Pepe earlier today in today's live stream, and let's see where it's going now. It's basically right around the same price level by the looks of it, just kind of having a bit of a shallow pullback from its high down to its current price. Where are we? We are down by 16%. So, yeah, it does seem to be down a little bit. I mean, nothing crazy, but yeah, I mean, I don't really have any thoughts on Pepe. I think that if it drops significantly lower down to, like a buy zone over here, then it could be interesting. But before that happens, I'm not really going to comment on it too much. Best regards from Dubai. Shout out to my guys and girls out here in Dubai. If I've met you here in Dubai, shout out to you. If I haven't met you yet, then shout out to you, and let's meet. Let's do a Dubai meet, guys. Why are we not doing a Dubai meet? Ladies and gents, if you're in Dubai and you want to meet me, do me a favor. Come down in the description right here to my Instagram. Where's my Instagram? Right here. Come down to my Instagram and shoot me a follow. It's just SammyLoyal_. You can type this in Instagram now. Come follow me here, and yeah, let's do a meetup at some point. I've been here for so long. I've done meetups all over the world. Well, not really all over the world, but I did one in LA, and there were a lot of people that turned up. That was a long time ago. But Yeah, guys, if you're in Dubai, come let's meet up. That would be sick. Let's see what else we got here in the comments. For the short term until the end of the day, do you see the price rallying back up to 64K? I mean, how long is a piece of string, dude? Unfortunately, I just can't answer that. Like, that's such a difficult question to answer. I don't think so, because the end of the day, according to UTC time zone, which is the only time zone that matters in crypto, the end of the day is in 5 hours. So I think statistically, like if I had to say, then no, I don't think we're going back up to 64. But I mean, this could just end up being like a sideways thing with like a spike in between and then sideways again, a spike down and then sideways again. You know what I mean? So like there's no way I can say, dude, like it's an impossible question to answer for me. Gun to your head, would you say this was the top for now? If I had to answer your question, would I say this is a top right now? I don't even think my answer is worth anything, bro, honestly, but I don't know, bro. I don't know. I think it certainly could be. I think there's a good chance that it is the top. I think it could be. But I don't even bother with these kind of things. I don't even bother asking these questions. I have no clue. Like, I'm always wrong about it. Always. So I'm not gonna try, bro. There's no point. I'm not here to be right about stuff like that. Like that, when there's gonna be a move and it doesn't matter if I predicted the exact fucking top that I've sniped the top of. There's gonna be a move that comes after this, which is gonna be so easy and safe and quiet to trade. I'm just gonna come in, collect my 500% profit super casually, like I did with my TRX position that I've showed you guys on this YouTube channel quite a bit. Like my, I mean, this was at 300% profit. I took the screenshot. Now I'm at 800% profit. I'm going to collect my 1800% profit on Bitcoin. I don't need to predict the top or bottom, guys. Like, I just need to, position myself in a safe way and be ready when the money's flowing, and then that's it. I mean, I wouldn't want to do more than that. It's not worth the risk, in my opinion. And that's something which I think is really, really important. Yeah, that's my opinion there. On that specific note, shout out to Will. Haven't stopped by in a while. New studio. Am I in the US, UK, or Dubai? Yeah, dude, I'm out in Dubai. Been here for years, and I haven't actually left Dubai now for a long time. I usually travel a lot, but I haven't traveled for a while. Guys, I'm losing the comments. The comments are not loading. This is really annoying. But yeah, out here in Dubai, dude. I'm just looking for the comments of people who are tagging my name because they're so much easier to read. So just a reminder, you use that @ symbol and then write my name, Sammy, and I will see your comment. And please note that I am going to be getting going in about like 20 minutes. So if you've got final things you want me to cover, let me know. We're going to do another round of TA as well in just a second. And if you're enjoying this live stream so far, ladies and gents, do me a favor and smash those likes up. I do want to highlight to you that if you're interested in jumping inside of 4Flies VIP, you can do that by following the steps on screen right now. It takes you into my free Telegram channel, and then you can message me directly to get details on how to join. My Twitter and Instagram are linked down below. My 2 favorite books of all time as a trader are linked down here. Here is a tutorial on how to start trading for beginners. I'm actually going to re-record this one. Let me know if you want me to re-record that one. This is just a complete beginner's guide, like A to Z. Well, A to F, I guess you could say, because there's a lot that goes into it. But you'll be confident by the end of that video. It was a 1-hour video. I'm going to re-record it. If you want to use TradingView, links down there. And of course, my completely free Telegram channel, like I said, linked right here. Let me see what other questions we've got here. I notice you never use Elliott waves in your TA. Why is that not something useful in your view? Yeah, I don't like the Elliott wave. I don't subscribe to it. I think it's way too subjective, and it's actually never been useful in my experience. Maybe once or twice, but not particularly often. Someone's saying you can't afford Dubai. It's interesting because up until quite recently, Dubai was very, very affordable. But now it is still quite affordable. Like, if you're not like living super lavish, then if you're just living normal living conditions, then Dubai is actually pretty accessible. But yeah, I mean, like if you have any like sense of like wanting a nice quality of life, like I wouldn't say nice because you can get nice for cheap. You can definitely get nice for cheap, like cheap compared to the West. But you know, like if you're looking for luxury, fuck, bro, it's so expensive now. It's insane. Have I taken profits on my long? Yes, sir. I've taken some more profits off my long position today, and I sold some spot Bitcoin today. Those of you that are inside of my free Telegram channel, which you can find below that subscribe button, you're gonna see that I did actually make this post inside of Four Flights Gold, telling you guys about a trade that I made just today as well. So VIPs get much more of that, but I do post some of that in gold occasionally. Do you think it'll drop hard before the halving? I think we've got a perfect setup for that to happen. I don't know for sure, obviously, and I wouldn't dare make a judgment like that. But I do think we've got a really good opportunity for that to happen. There's still a month and a half to come until the halving, so that's a lot of time for things to get very bad for Bitcoin, because if it does get bad, it's probably going to get bad very quickly in a very short space of time. So I think that definitely helps tell us that Bitcoin could be in for a bit of a rumble over these next little bit. Bear with me, guys. And let's take a look at some of these other comments right here. Planning to sell 50%. What do you think? I actually considered it. Like earlier today, I was thinking like I want to sell all of my. I legitimately want to sell all of my crypto right now. I can't. I'm too emotionally attached to the game. I'm not emotionally attached, but I'm too married to the game. Like I've been all in on Bitcoin since 2018. I can't fucking sell it all now, but I really wanted to, because I feel so like positive that we're going to get better price levels lower. I don't know how long it's going to take, whether it takes days, weeks, or months, but I do feel like it's coming. Nothing is guaranteed, but I wasn't able to do it. I considered selling half, because I was like, well, at least I can, kind of buy back half of it. But, even that I couldn't bring myself to do, because I just can't be out of the market. Like the opportunity, like, I was on the phone with my friend about this, and he was like, well, what is the downside of selling half of your crypto right now? We were just having a thought experiment, and I was like, well, the downside is FOMO, because right now this rally doesn't make any fucking sense, and I obviously don't think it's going to go set a brand new all-time high and get up to $80,000, but if it did set an all-time high, and if it did reach $80,000, and I know that I sold half of my crypto, that might lead me to making a stupid decision. And that's why I don't actually like to exit my spot positions particularly often. And it's a really serious thing if I do, because I know that I'm running a really serious opportunity cost risk. And what I would rather do is trade these markets on Bybit with access to the instruments that Bybit offers, or BingX, which of course you can only use in certain countries around the world. If it's restricted in your countries, you can't even think about it. You got Big Brother watching you. But shout out to George Orwell, the late George Orwell, with the 1984 book, compulsory reading for everybody. But yeah, I mean, I would rather just trade these markets on Bybit or BingX as a no KYC alternative, which I've been using quite a bit as well. That's my take on those kind of things. Let's come back to the comments here and see what else we've got. Big question: why do I have an earpiece in, but I use the mic in front of you? I think it's like an ADHD thing or something. I don't know. I'm just listening to music like literally the entire time. I've got Rufus playing right now. It's Underwater by Rufus. They are my absolute favorite music band, and I've been listening to just Rufus and Lane 8 throughout this entire live stream. I do it regularly. I don't know why. I don't know. It just yeah. It's probably not good for me. It's probably actually really bad for me. But I just do. So that's why I got my earpieces in. Let's see what else we got here in the comments. How low can we go? I mean, 30K. Somebody asked me for like my super bearish target, and I want to cover that with you guys real quick. I think that $30,000 is like the lowest I see this thing going, because that is Bitcoin's best level of support, and it would actually be really nice if Bitcoin goes there, but the problem is it's so far away, and if we go even higher, it's going to be even more ridiculous. But right now, we'd have to more than halve to get down there, which is just absolutely insanely huge of a drop. I don't know if that's actually going to happen, but a 50% drop down to 30k would be one of the best ways to reset this market. This is still an untested level, and it was really strong resistance. So naturally, I'd love to see a back test that tells us that we've kind of completed that. And one of the other things that it achieves, if we manage to get that back test of the $30,000 price level, is that it also tells us we're now in a situation where the bears had a chance to drive this thing much lower, but they couldn't actually achieve it. And I think that's really significant, because if the bears had a chance to drive this thing lower, but they didn't manage to take control of that, and we only stopped dumping at 30k, then that actually shows us that buyers are ready to step in and bears do not have control of the market. And it gives us even more renewed confirmation that we're actually in a very, very bullish macro environment on the chart. So I think that would be absolutely fantastic. Now, beyond 30k, my absolute worst target, somebody asked me as a hypothetical today, my answer was $27,000 down here. The reason I'm saying that is because if we get a drop down to 30k, I wouldn't put it beyond Bitcoin to get a really quick, and I mean like mega fucking quick, like within 1 day, less than 1 day, less than like 10 minutes, less than 2 hours kind of thing. That we just kind of like zip straight down, grab some liquidity, stop some more longs out, because and this is the thing you got to keep in mind, like either a lot of the time we're going to front run, right? So we're actually only going to drop down to, let's say, 36k, or we're going to overshoot, but very rarely do we get a clean touch, especially in crypto, because it's so heavily manipulated and there's so much leverage. So I think that, seeing a potential drop down to levels like this would be something that I would potentially be interested in looking out for in this market. I need to just check something really quick. Yeah, all good. Perfect. Cool. So, that kind of like 27k level potentially being an interesting price zone for the market to drop down to for a really, really quick crash. I think 36k, basically any of my green boxes, I think are like the absolute floor for Bitcoin, just from what I'm seeing. 36k up to about 38, also a phenomenal bounce zone, and we can actually just start like throwing Fibonacci's on this chart now. I mean, we don't really know if this is the top, and this will change if Bitcoin, kind of does something different, but we've got a golden pocket at 34 stretching down to 32. So, any of these kind of like mid to low $30,000 price ranges would be the ideal that I want to see Bitcoin dropping back down to. And I really have to make this point clear, because when I say this, people think that I'm like really heavily short or something, or that I'm like selling my Bitcoin to buy gold or some other ridiculous shit like that. But I've got to remind you guys that are just kind of tuning in, or that aren't really like in the know about this, but I am way more long than most other people in this market, right? Like, just as we speak, I'm still sitting pretty at 1800% profit on my Bitcoin position, 800% on my TRX position. I got to keep bringing this up because people think I'm some sort of fucking agent that's like, I've been sent up from hell by the bears, trying to convince you guys to buy gold and sell your Bitcoin or some fucking crazy shit like that. I am like pretty much all in on Bitcoin, and I've been heavily long on Bitcoin as well for a very, very long time. I've been making so much money off the upside. This is not somebody who has money sidelined. Like, I do want to have money sidelined to buy more crypto, because I think we're going to drop down, but I don't have much, and I am still quite heavy in the market. I did sell a little bit more today, like I said, and that post did go inside of the free 4Flies Gold Telegram channel, which you can always find linked down below. You'll find it right here below these phenomenal offers where you can get up to 30k on Bybit and a free $500 Bitcoin position on Bybit. Super, super cool. BingX is a brilliant no KYC alternative with over 100k in bonuses. This is not me, being a sidelined bear like Capo that just hasn't had any of the sunshine. I really just think that from a technical perspective, this thing, Bitcoin is not like the nice guy that like is always super respectful and makes you always feel super safe and calm. Bitcoin ruins your fucking life as well. Let's not forget about that. Let's not forget that that is a reality of this market. And of course, many people have forgotten, but do that at your own peril, because I don't think that is a particularly smart idea. And I think I'm hearing, there is a McLaren 720S that's just pulled up outside my house. So that's going to mark the end of my live stream. Let me see if there's a couple more notes here in the description to cover, but I think I'm pretty much done for this live stream. So if you have enjoyed this one, you guys know exactly what to do. I think I'm about to go for a drive, grab a hookah. Thank you all for tuning in. to this live stream, ladies and gents. I really do appreciate you all. Smash up those likes, subscribe, tick the bell, do all that good stuff. It's been a phenomenal live stream. There's been so many of you guys that tuned in. I really do appreciate you all. Let's get one last pump. Are you sure that's not a Russian tank outside? No, sir, it's not. That is a McLaren 720 with 1,000 plus brake horsepower. Absolutely fantastic. Don't ask me how he did it. He's just a fucking legend. Shout out to you, bro. You know who you are. I will be doing these live streams every day, most likely, if the price action continues like this. So come back here. It'll be around the same time every day, and I'll see you all in the next one. All right, guys. Thank you all for tuning in, and I'm out. Cheers.